Thank you for joining us today here on What's Up Prince William with our community conversations with Mayor Derrick Wood. Thank you for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, and I really appreciate what y'all do for the community and how you keep us informed of everything that's happening. These resources are very valuable, especially from the local perspective, because there's not many perspectives on local on what's happening, and from a positive perspective in the community. So thank you for what you do.
Sure. Well, we enjoy what we're doing, and we enjoy being able to talk about stories like this that actually help the community, get better and help everyone here in the community.
Well, that's what's up.
so the with the announcement of Rosie's going in over there on the old dump, the obviously that's not the new news, but tell us a little bit as far as like some of the things that you had to overcome as far as actually with that coming into the town.
I think the biggest hurdle, first of all, was the perception of it being a landfill. Yes, they do a lot of recycle and construction landfill over there. It's been, if anybody's been following the town news over the last 25 years, they know that the landfill for our community has been a huge eyesore. It's been a major pain point. And so being able to find somebody, one, who's willing to come in and buy and develop on something that's undevelopable, right? It was already scheduled to come back to the town in the next 5 to 10 years. We had a host fee agreement to allow them to continue to build. Then it would have been the town's responsibility to then develop whatever was supposed to be over, and the owners would have to watch over it for 10 years. So once we found Rosie's, who was particularly interested because the landfill had I think it's about 12 acres that was undeveloped, that was closer to 95. It was zoned all residential because they were going to build some townhouses and stuff around there initially. And so they looked at those 12 acres and tried to figure out what would be the best use for that space. I asked them for a convention center, but they said it definitely wasn't enough acreage for a convention center.
Right.
So then the hurdle was, all right, how do we design something in this space that would be attractive and that would draw people? So it really was a listening session to figure out what the needs of the community was. And I mean, when you got a developer who comes to the town and the first question they ask is, what do you need? That's always refreshing because they already had a product, they already had a service, they knew what they had, but they really wanted to understand what we need. And so we sat down and told them there was no convention space around here. Right. And so we looked at, you got the clubs at Quantico, right? You have the other little mansion in Manassas, but outside of that, in Prince William County as a whole, most big major events, they were happening at Fort Belvoir. They were happening in Crystal City, Arlington area, and a lot of those big hotels. So we had, I think nowhere in the county, there's no 4-star better hotel, right? With any type of room service and none of that. So we talked about the need for hotels, convention space, a place to have nice concerts and stuff like that. And when they designed this thing, it was really, okay, how can they do this in a way to make money? And it's funny because when you look at George Mason, their performing arts center down there, they have over 2,000 seats because there's a sweet spot for the number of seats you have to have. And I know this is probably a little bit more detail, but this theater that they're going to build here probably can only hold 15. So they're willing to take a loss per ticket, right, just to get the space in there that we can have it so they can have the gaming space as well as the restaurant space. And we're looking to have anywhere from 7 to 9 restaurants in this place. Fine dining. There's going to be a sports bar type of thing in there, and maybe like a food hall type of concept in there, because food halls are now the new trendy type thing, but it'll be more of an upscale type food hall. On the outside of that property, you're looking at a multi-tiered parking deck. And the purpose of the parking deck is, one, you need parking, and two, there's a trailer park home, Grayson Village, that's been there for years. It's not going anywhere, but the developer considered, based on our staff recommendation, to put the parking garage there. On their original designs, it was on the other side. But we figured, how can we protect the noise and the light pollution from going over to that community?
So you're actually building like a buffer in between there, so you're not losing affordable housing, there in Dumfries.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people over there, some of them own a lot of those trailers, and some people are renting trailers that's coming in. I think it was a 60-40 mix of who owns and who's renting and coming in over there. And so that was a great. The other biggest, I think, challenge that we all had to overcome was looking at the traffic, right? Traffic and environmental. Those were the concerns that were recurring. And, it's funny because as you talk about traffic, I go past and I drive past the Chick-fil-A almost every day. And I know that nobody complains about the amount of traffic that comes in and out of a Chick-fil-A. As a matter of fact, they have to have officers now that actually facilitate traffic going in and out of there.
So you were telling me a story about where even we were just looking at the existing Rosie's.
Yeah.
And that parking lot there, we're talking about the amount of traffic coming in. What was your experience when you were to actually talk to somebody about that?
Yes, it was a man. He said, Mayor, I sat there and I watched traffic come in and out of McDonald's, and it was more traffic coming in and out of McDonald's than it was that Rosie's. And so, it's just an interesting concept because even when we built the first Rosie's, that was a concern, the traffic. And the truth of the matter is, when we have our rush hour traffic and people are going to work and coming from work, those aren't the same peak hours of people that are visiting these facilities.
Right.
People are visiting these facilities more late night, early morning type of situation where you just don't run into all the traffic issues and concerns. One of the things that everyone has been talking, of course, we've been working with the developers as well as our staff with VDOT, as far as on the traffic, Department of Transportation, and also communicating with the transportation over in Prince William County, and looking at how can the 234 Route 1 corridor be more effective. Now, currently the way it is, we're way behind schedule on when this should have all been developed.
Right.
Potomac Shores Parkway, you all covered that some years ago when they came and did a presentation at our council meeting. That project should have been started, but it hasn't started. I'm pretty sure that the two developers will come together and come to a happy medium to figure out what we can do to expedite that project. I know the people who live in Potomac Shores now have been asking for years. I've been to many transportation meetings. When is this project going to get started? So I'm happy that we have a developer now that can come in and really help facilitate the challenges of that intersection. But I got to caution because one of the things that we don't want to see is we don't want to see our Stagecoach Road get cul-de-sac to any on incoming traffic, right? Because you will really kill our industrial development. You will hurt all the businesses that we have down there because you will starve them out of there. Right. And our concern in our town is really how can we continue to facilitate and bring business to those people that's there.
But so with the new Rosie's coming in, actually be able to bring, actually start becoming a destination. The road, Potomac Shores Parkway gets put in when that finally gets all developed. So then Dumfries actually starts becoming more of a destination place, not just trying to drive through it to get to Stafford.
No. And it's funny because when I first ran for council back in 2012, my campaign slogan was Rediscover Dumfries. And it was a matter of looking at the rich history and the culture of Dumfries and what was happening there at that time. Wegmans had started thriving and they were really starting to work on the rest of that development. Stafford was building up all these town centers right at 610. And here it is, Dumfries was in the middle, and I felt like we was getting passed over. And to me, I couldn't understand, why is Stafford getting developed? Why is Woodbridge getting developed? But why is Dumfries?
Well, even that, it's like, you're really looking at it, it's like everything's getting developed over in Manassas and Gainesville.
Yeah.
The east side's actually getting basically ignored.
Yeah, we were left out. And so it was a matter of, I come from, my background is in hospitality, it's in business administration, and I have a master's in business. And so I looked at it from I screamed opportunity. I almost felt like, somebody that comes and see, the Route 1 corridor, I saw potential opportunity, right? Because you don't see what's there, you see what you've been programmed to see. Most people see things as it is. I see things as they could be. And I was like, man, my mission statement from the time I got elected was, I'm gonna help make Dumfries a destination place that people from all over DC, Maryland, and Virginia don't just drive through, but they're gonna drive to. And I remember creating Parks and Recs, and one of the slogans up there was, "Come play in Dumfries, come stay in Dumfries." And so this is a kind of like when you have a vision, it's almost like the secret, the law of attraction. Like everything, all the resources, everything you need for that vision to come to play, it just starts to align itself. And so when this came to play and you start to see what's happening in Dumfries, you see what's happening in Potomac Shores. So not only the town of Dumfries, but Dumfries as a whole is now becoming. We got the Jack Nicholson Golf Course. You got the VRE that's being built.
Right.
We just approved last year. A lot of people didn't even see this. We updated our comprehensive plan, which outlines what we want the main street to look like. Like we actually have built the infrastructure and the foundation for what downtown Dumfries is going to look like. And so now we can go out and just really go out hard looking for the type of businesses that's going to be able to fit and match our down street.
So when you're talking about
Main Street.
The infrastructure of Dumfries, maybe not even just the roads and that type of thing, but kind of going back to the Rosie's part here, what are some of the benefits to the town that you've been able to do for, say, employees or police officers, whatever, because of actually having that income coming in now?
I mean, that's a great question. Rosie's came in during the pandemic and opened up. They were a little behind schedule because of the pandemic. We budgeted in them that we were going to generate probably an extra $500,000 in revenue. So in talking to our town manager and just his insight on it, he said, Mayor, how do you feel about us in the budget giving this revenue to the staff? And we have 14 police officers that we were funded for.
Right.
So how are we going to give it to them? In the form of a benefit package.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we were able to do was give all of our staff, because one of the reasons why we would lose people is because some of our young officers had families to take care of.
Right.
And they couldn't afford the insurance. Some of our people had different illness or ailments and they couldn't afford to pay the out-of-pocket. So we say, what would be a great idea? Then let's pay their full benefits package. Let's pay for their medical and their dental. And what we also did is we raised the starting salary for our police recruits to $60,000, which makes us the most competitive in Northern Virginia. So we were able to get the fully staffed in our police department, bring in our permanent police chief now, and to really get us really focused in the community. And, on top of that, still maintain we're in the top 10 rating for being one of the top 10 safest towns in the state of Virginia, according to SafeWise. So.
Right.
We're always excited about that. And those are some of the resources we were able to do as a result of just the initial revenue. Now this new Rose project, because it's no longer going to be Roses, it's going to be called The Rose. The hotel is going to be beautiful. What we're going to be able to do is bring in over 600 jobs. We're going to bring in, we're going to like 2x our budget to 10 plus million that's going to come in off of this project. And on top of that, Prince William County as a whole get an extra $7 million from the town of Dumfries that they will have the opportunity to reinvest in the town of Dumfries.
So let's see if they actually reinvest it. So we'll see. Let me have to follow that part.
Yeah, follow that part. Look at the budget.
So not only with that, then you have all the other businesses that either come in because of Rosie's or, as the roads are getting redone and the parkway comes in for Potomac Shores, Rosie's there, the convention center. Now other businesses actually want to come in and help develop the area and even bring in some more money to Dumfries.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's we got a couple of national headquarter companies that's in the town of Dumfries. Mm-hmm. Part of Dumfries is still in the HUD zone. So for the government district, for those who've seen the State of the Town address, we have a town hall building that's fully almost a building that we purchased that really saved the community $6 million because of what it was going to cost us to build a brand new town hall. Right. And that building is now fully cash flow positive. And we have a property management company that manages the day-to-day on that building alone. So we don't have to have extra staff people to really take care of that. And so we've really been very sufficient in the growth and the development in the businesses that are coming. Hopefully we start to really bring in some retail. A lot of people are asking for like a fresh food, like farmers market, Whole Foods type of thing. And so we're aggressively. I'm going to look at some conferences maybe in the next year or two where maybe I can go out as an ambassador and try to talk to some of these retailers about why the town of Dumfries is a place they want to relocate. So that's kind of like the goal now, is just to really go out And I feel it's a great responsibility as the chief ambassador for the town,
Right.
to be able to represent us and to go out and to tell folks why they shouldn't just drive through Dumfries, but why they need to drive to Dumfries.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what. Glad to see that things are looking better for Dumfries and moving forward. I know you put a lot of work into it, and I'm sure it's more than a 8 or 10 hour day taking care of Dumfries there. But anyway, I just want to say thank you very much for coming in today, and we'll have you back to talk about another part going on there that be happening in Dumfries here soon.
Yeah, and if y'all haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure y'all hit that notification so that y'all don't miss none of these videos when they come out. Because you want to tune in. Subscribe, like, and matter of fact, tag 2 friends so they can see this too.
Thank you. So thank you for joining us with us for What's Up Prince William.